back to another edition of the wonderful, the remarkable, the impactful NoStoppingKev show. Big Beefer, what's up?
What's happening?
Oh man, I'm chilling. It's a little hot in here today.
Yeah, I'm surprised when I wore more clothes in there for the coldness. It was nice. I had to take my jacket off.
I know one thing though. I might be hot, but I'm not coming out my hoodie, baby. Gotta stay fresh, boy.
That's a new hoodie too?
Yeah, this is my WNBA hoodie. Shout out to the WNBA. Y'all know y'all got a huge fan of me. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, venture over to Instagram and Facebook. Check out the No Stopping Kev show on Instagram and Facebook to see our WNBA Appreciation Week post. And also, if you're listening to this episode today, the launch day, check out Game 3 of the Mystics Sun series. It's probably going to be on ESPN. Pretty sure it's on ESPN. But, yep, series tied at 1 game apiece, heading to Connecticut. So let's see if the Mystics can bounce back with Deladon battling some back injuries. So, should be pretty interesting. Looking forward to watching it. I missed Game 1 because I was traveling back from New York, but I saw Game 2. And I knew Game 2 would be a lot different than Game 1. Game 1, Mystics blew them out. Game 2, I knew the Suns would make adjustments. And Suns just kind of coasted to a victory. So, looking to see if the Mystics can knock off the Sun
I'm
tonight.
trying to check that off. This is the night?
It's Sunday.
Okay, so right, okay.
So, yeah. So, if you haven't been checking that out, make sure you do. And also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, just to stay up to speed for what we got going on. Because I'm going to tell you, 2020, big things are coming. You supposed to ask what big things are coming.
What big things are coming? I'm watching you drink your water.
Yeah.
I hope it's water.
It's coffee.
Oh, okay.
So you said what big things are coming?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked, Dad. Can't tell you just yet. Just know they in the works.
Yeah, I know you always got surprises.
Just know some things in the kitchen cooking. Right now we meal prepping though. Because 2020 gonna be a big year. I'm excited for it. But just we gonna get into it today. But I'm a little hurt though. It's been a great week because like Bleacher Report or somebody put out that top 50 players of all time, and they left my man off the list. But it's a lot of holes in that list right now. So whoever wrote that, we might have to sit down and have a little conversation. You feel me?
Yeah, like when you was telling me that and you asked me that, and when I was going through the list, I think that he should be on there.
Who is he?
AI.
Say it out, say it loud and proud.
No.
Allen Iverson, baby.
I wasn't always an AI fan, but you can't take nothing from that guy. You can't take nothing from him. He came and he played hard. Like I said, I don't always agree with him, but he was AI, and like with some of the people that's on that list, I think he a first time baller.
First ballot Hall of Famer?
Hall of Famer. First time ballot Hall of Famer. So that's saying something right then and there. You got some people, I don't even believe that was the first ballot Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Or even if they did, for what he did at his size, it's remarkable.
As I was scrolling through, I was like, are they basing this on rings? I saw like Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. And then I saw Charles Barkley. I'm like, all right, it's not based on rings. I'm like, I feel like it's somebody who, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on the basketball experience of the person going through this list. But I just know that, that 6-foot guard from Georgetown was a problem. So much so that Kobe once said, like, going against AI made him have to realize, like, yo, I got to get better.
Right.
And that's a 6'6" guy talking about this little mouse running around giving out buckets.
Well, you know what? Everybody said that about AI. I mean, he was a fierce competitor. Like you saying, like I know, like I always say, Larry Brown gave AI a team that complimented him. But AI didn't need a team. AI still was going to go out and get his. And that's sometimes like when we talk about players, like when we talk about this player that good, I don't care when it was AI going to give it to you. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? It wasn't that when the Sixers lost, that you stopped Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson still got his. They had to stop the rest of the team because you wasn't stopping him. You know, one of my favorite basketball players was Nate Archibald, and I'll always tell you about Nate Archibald because some people probably don't know. He led the league in scoring and assists. And I remember one of the best defensive players was Walt Frazier. And I remember reading in a book when I was young. He said the only way you stop Nate Archibald is hope he have an off game. Mm-hmm. So that's in a way with Allen Iverson, because he gonna come out there banged up, hurt or whatever it is, and still perform and still get hit.
He was in that no games off era.
Yeah,
like no days off.
Yeah.
So different beast, but yeah, we can get into that another time. Today, you know, I guess I'll tell you where I was coming from with the topic today. So, shout out to my man Octavius Blount, because this is a brother that I met sitting on a panel, and grabbed lunch with him Friday, and you know, it's just, now you catch up with somebody or you connect, and it's like I really needed this, right? It's gonna help me. You walk away from it feeling inspired, motivated. And I mean, it's up to us to kind of keep it going. But, you know, just to hear some of the projects that he's working on in the community was really, you know, just impactful for me to hear about. And I hope to be a part of some of them going forward. But, you know, he wants to launch a podcast. So I'm going to support him in that. But it just made me think about how, going back to episode, what was it, 4 or 5, support?
Yeah.
Or 3, one of the early ones?
Yeah.
And it's such a big thing, and it's recurring. And, you know, I just feel like there's not always enough support. And so we need to be a team and always, you know, work together. And it's not always about, you know, like I could easily say, you know, he could easily share, you know, he wants to start a podcast. And he said it. He's like, you could have just been quiet about it. You ain't even have to say, like, oh, yeah, I'm running with this show right now. Let me know if you need any help. Like, I don't have to do that, right? But I would love to see him grow, right? You got some people out there that they only care about what they're doing, right? They want to be the best. But when you're working towards a common goal, right? Empowering, you know, people, whoever your desired audience is, helping them out, really trying to give back when it's not about self-gain, it'd be a no-brainer not to help. Like, I got to help this guy, right?
You know, like when you say that, they say the only way to keep it is to give it away. Mm-hmm. So, and it's just like you saying, you got to give stuff away, and that helps you get better, because you know what, we all blessed by the best, you know, and like he gives to us, so we have to give too, and as we give, it makes you feel better when you can help somebody else out. You know, when you can make somebody else be bigger, like, you know what. For you just being in my life, you being in my life, for me going what I am, for all that you give me, that it feels so good. And you know, like sometimes, like I know we'll probably talk about some other things a little bit later in the show, but I just feel though, you know, that part of it is, and I'll say some more when we get to another part, because I don't want to jump so far ahead, because it just brings some things into mind. And like when you talk about support, all this stuff always relate and falls in place too. Everything that we talk about.
And this brother support our show too. He tunes in. You know, which when I hear that, it really warms my heart. And you know, I'm just so thankful to everyone out there that tunes in every week, every other week. If you just watch one episode and kept it moving, there's some people out there that are not really into the podcast thing, but they're like, you know what, I did subscribe and follow the pages. Got to help the numbers out. So people out there supporting in the capacity that they can, and they're sharing it with people. So for everybody out there doing it, we appreciate you.
You know, I gotta shout my man Sherman Bland for Sheepdog. It was funny because the other night when I was at work, Ray called me and said somebody want to talk to you. And you know, he was saying, man, I'm checking y'all podcast out. That it's something good. You know, you must have sent Aunt Reenie something. She called me the other day and thanking me. And I said, Aunt Reenie, I ain't sent you nothing. Kev must have sent you something.
No, she just found it somehow.
I don't
it's
know.
Getting out there.
Yeah, I don't know, but she called me the other day and was thanking me, and I said, I mean, I ain't sending you nothing.
You sure
So
you
like
didn't
you
send
said,
it?
my man Sherm called me. I haven't talked to Sherm in years, but he called me, and the first thing he said, I've been checking y'all out.
You know what? I'm a challenge Sherm and Knock this week. You'll share with one person. Send the video or the link to the episode to one person. Help us grow. But yeah, so today I just wanted to talk about something that's also important to me because I didn't really learn about what it took to be this type of person until I had a little bit of a humbling experience in college. But I just want to talk about what makes a good teammate because it's something that's very important in the game of basketball because obviously it's a team sport. You got 5 guys on the floor that got to work together. You got guys that's coming in and off the bench. They have to still work together. You got to still work with your coach. So there's a lot of moving parts to that dynamic. And even beyond basketball, there's still teamwork involved. Whether, you're on your job, working with organizations that you're passionate about. This world is run by people, right? They say like money runs the world. No, people run the world, right? So you got to know how to work with people. And I just want to, touch on some things that maybe make a person a good teammate or team player. So you got something first, or you want me to?
I mean, you can go, but you know what? For real, I think that it comes with being a leader too.
Yeah.
I think for me, when you talking this and it's saying, like a lot of that starts right in the home. And you know what? Like your parents got to teach you, got to instill some things into you. And therefore it will teach you how to be a leader, or be a good role model. You gotta be a role model. And then another thing that come to my mind is you can't talk the talk. You gotta walk the walk.
Mm-hmm.
So all that, so even if you talking about a basketball player, who they gonna follow that star player. So if that star player isn't a good role model or isn't a good leader, then he's not being good for that team, and he's not helping somebody. So you got to be good to help somebody, to teach somebody, and hope that people want to follow you, and then they can become a leader, and then you'll have a team of leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like being a good
There's also a flip side of that. In order to get people to become leaders, lead by example.
Right.
You got to have you got to be willing to, follow a leader.
Right.
You got to be open-minded. You got to buy in. And, so you said it, like you hit it on the head with, one element is being a leader. Depending on, if you got a spectrum of, your leadership skills, it could be low.
Right.
Or it could be very high, but you're going to be somewhere on that spectrum. And I believe we all have leadership skills somewhere in us, even if we don't know it. Like I can tell you from my experience in high school, I became captain of the team probably at the end of sophomore year. It's going into off-season leagues and stuff like that. So I was basically captain junior and senior year. And looking back, I wish I was more vocal. I was a lead by example kind of guy, right? I would walk the walk, but I needed to do a little bit more talking the talk too to get some other guys on board. Because everyone isn't just going to look and follow. Some guys you might got to light a fire under or call out to get them going, which is something I learned later on, my senior year when I went to Reese and I was like, listen, bro, it might be time for you to bounce. If you're not going to come to practice on time, if you think you're just going to come in here and do what you want, not buy into our system, not play with our guys, you got to go. And I told you, 25 points a night, easy. To go along with 15 boards, easy. I was ready to just scrap that just because, like you said, you want a team full of leaders, right? It's a culture, right? You got to buy into that. And so I was willing to do a little bit of addition by subtraction. I was like, all right, we might be missing his 25 and 15 boards, but, maybe instead of me averaging 10 a game, 14 a game, I can get back up to, giving us 18. Somebody else might give us another 6. We going to find a way to make up for them points. We had a lot of talent my senior year. But, it's just something else to think about. So I think another good characteristic of a good teammate is someone that's patient and, just willing to teach others, right? Because sometimes you got star players, like you said, that aren't the best role models, but I believe the best are ones that are willing to help others get better.
Right. And what you're saying is we all have our certain areas where we can be better at. So we all still got to take something from somebody else who might, so like when I said all of us being leaders, you might be better in this area and you can help me grow in this area. So we all got to be, good role players and good teammates or whatever, just in life, just like life. When you talk about like a lot of that, it just had me thinking how, like sometimes in life, when the head ain't setting a good example or ain't leading or ain't being a good, like, let's just say a father. Let's just say a father, and I'm just using this for example. Like, I had my problems or what I did and did some things, but I always tried to be a father to y'all or be in your life. And see, y'all always respected me. Like a lot of times we got people or fathers or and mothers too, that's off doing their own thing. Then they get upset when their kids don't respect them and don't give them respect. Why? Because they wasn't that person. They wasn't that person that was leading. Now when they talking back to you and doing this, because like I just always remember back in the day, like, and this is what it got to me, when they were saying babies was having babies and they didn't learn how to lead or be that role model or anything else for their kids. And now their kids grow up to be just like them. Like when I talk about the generations in jail, all that's still related. Mm-hmm. And like my father, like, my father wasn't in my life now. I don't know for what reason, but later me and my father got close. But my father made me not want to be like him. And I'm glad that I didn't beat him, but I still love him. And I love him, I loved him and I got to know him a little bit more, but he helped me to be in you, Brianna, Karen, all y'all life. Mm-hmm. So, and I try to do my best there. And I think something with your mom and or whatever, look at you. Look what Brianna doing. So, and look what you'll do with your kids.
Yeah, down the line, man.
Yeah, down the line.
But yeah,
down the line.
They gonna be straight.
Yeah.
They gonna be.
Well, I mean, not even, you know what? See, it ain't even gotta be your kids right now. Look what you do with your nephew. Look how you will instill some things in your nephew, and it's just like being a good team player.
Yeah,
because that's still part of your team. Yeah. He's still part of your team. We just talking about in life. Now your nephew, your nieces, they're part of your life, part of your team.
100%.
And you teach him. Look where he came from. Look how good he's doing now.
Yeah, I saw him. Was it yesterday? Because I had to go pick up my Sharpie markers. They got mixed in with his school supplies, so he was just rocking out with them. But we got a little deal. He got a little school incentive if his average is at a certain number. And, of course, knowing me, I set that number pretty high because I know he can do it. It's attainable. We set SMART goals around here. I asked him how was school going. He was like, it's good. And I was like, you on track to hit your mark? And he was like, yeah, I should be. And I was like, I know the Achilles heel with a lot of students. It's usually like homework that kills their averages at mastery. I was like, you been doing all your homework? He was like, yeah. I was like, you just doing majority of it? He was like, yeah, no, all. And I was like, all right, he corrected himself. So maybe he's actually doing all of it. Because I'm not going to micromanage him because it got to be a little bit of his own. But I'm proud of what he's doing. And he's going to go out for the team this year. I can't take it easy on him, probably be even harder on him, which is fun. But, I haven't been able to make it to any of the preseason workouts yet, just because of my schedule.
Oh, he going out for the team?
Yeah, and I've been hearing good things. He's been in there working hard. So
I'm gonna have to make it by there.
I'm just proud of seeing his growth coming from the kid that used to have disciplinary problems every day to this mature young man that I can't believe is 14. It didn't hit me until the other day we were talking. You were talking about a kid that was 12 that I'm always thinking about him being younger than every other kid that, in some form or way come into my life where I'm connected to indirectly or directly. But now it's like, no, he's getting up there. He's a little old head. But he's doing well. But I want to get back on the topic. So, I think another thing another characteristic of a good teammate is, they're always supportive, kind of no matter the circumstances, and especially when adversity hits. That's when, it really kicks in, and they kind of give people a voice. I think that one of my personality characteristics is, if I know, like, if I'm working in a team, right, and it's somebody that's quieter, I'm the person to be like, yo, what you think? Because I know how it is to be in that position, right, where you got all these ideas, and they're great ideas, right, but you don't feel quite comfortable sharing. A good teammate's going to make you comfortable. They're going to find a way to make you feel like you belong, make you realize your value, which is, something I had to kind of do, I think, in college when, I talk about my boy Tom all the time. We both were pretty talented, especially like junior year. I don't know what was going on from the top down and selections on who was making it on the floor, but it definitely was frustrating. I thought about stop playing basketball in college, and just kicking it at the rec every day because that's where I was having more fun. But I was like, no, that's not me. I'm not a quitter. I'm going to fight through it, handle this adversity. And my boy Tom was right there with me through it all. We were hitting shots up in the gym 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And, I knew how well Tom could shoot the ball. This guy can flat out, like, NBA range consistently. He put the work in, right? So I used to tell Tom all the time, like, yo, you get in there, bro, let it fly. Like, don't even think about it. Like, listen, you probably coming out in 30 seconds, and you might as well get a shot out. Like, if you don't shoot, or if you do shoot, you coming out in 30 seconds, let that thing fly. Tom went out there one game, he had like back-to-back threes. So, you hit back-to-back threes. Coach going to leave you out there a little bit. Tom probably hit about 7 threes that night. No lie, not kidding you. And, in that moment, I could have, if I'm not playing as many minutes if I wanted to, I could easily be bitter about it, right? But seeing my boy shine like that really got me hyping into it. And, you talk about being supportive, going back to being supportive no matter the circumstances. Through the 3 years that I played, I learned how to be a good teammate from the bench. And part of that was I had to watch a leader. So coming in my freshman year, we had a senior guard that he didn't start. He came off the bench. He was a role player. But just seeing the energy that he used to provide to the guys on the floor from the bench just by talking, yelling out, screen, back pick, watch the back door, cut, telling guys what to do. I saw how that helped us be a better team, right? So sometimes you got to not be selfish. You get your head out your behind and really look at the bigger picture and find a way to add value. So that's why I said being supportive no matter what the circumstances are.
I agree with that. And, another thing I say, when you start getting experience, and like, all the things that you say, all that goes in to being open, to seeing what, like, when you talk about what a leader does, and picking up some things from a leader. Like, I always believe, like, you got to be a student. You got to be a student. You got to remain a student as long as you go. Like you just got to keep picking up things and then add things that what works and how to do that. And then the other thing is, like, when you're saying you got to know how to reach your teammates.
Right.
And the different ones, like when you were saying you might have a person that it's not loud or something like that. You may have to go to him and talk to him one-on-one, because he may not feel comfortable of saying some things in a group setting. And like I said, experience, like being experienced and watching the game. Like, even though you don't have to have 20 years experience to be good, you could have been watching this from a kid on, from younger, and picking up things, Like when I went back, I go back to saying about some fathers or some good men in life and or out there. When you know and you see somebody living right, you pick up some of them things. You know, like I remember when I was young and I used to play basketball. What I used to do is I seen a basketball player that I kind of liked. I see the same style or something in me, and I could use that. Like okay, like it might be like a shooting guard. I never was a shooter, so I didn't really know. Now I'm not gonna say it wasn't nothing I couldn't learn from him. Like it might be like you saying the way that he talked, the way that he leads on the court. So like me, I feel though you got to be versatile and be able to do all them things together. Just not like as they say tunnel vision and just see things one way.
Right. It's always value in being well rounded.
Yeah.
You can contribute more. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but you know I think a good teammate embodies the culture, and you know usually the person driving the culture or you know shaping it is the coach, right? So you got to have buy-in there, and of course whenever that dynamic has some rigidness, you know, it's not going to be the best for the team. So when you have players who are open and you know really buy into the system, the team's going to be that stronger because you're working towards a goal, right?
Right.
Just like on my job, you know, we do loans for businesses, but you know we're all working for our own goal of producing individually, but at the end of the day that's going to help our team number look better, right? So I could have a down year, somebody else could pick up the slack with having, you know, getting monster deals done, and at the end of the year our team's number is either consistent or maybe even, you know, a little bit higher, which is what we love to see. But it's all about kind of working together towards that common goal. So in basketball, you probably want to win a championship, right? That's usually the goal. In order to do that, though, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? From being in the gym every day to studying the film, getting better individually, helping your teammates get better. There's a lot. And so, you know, this ties into the last thing that I had on my list. And by no means is this list all inclusive, but it's the willingness to sacrifice whatever it takes to be a winner. I think that's probably one of the biggest things, and that's usually somewhere ingrained in the culture of a team, right? It's like it's not always about, you know, minutes or individual stats. It's what does the team need to win, and I think that, you know, it takes a certain level of maturity and growth to get to that point to realize that, because of course you grow up playing and you just want to go out there and hoop, but sometimes you gotta be the guy to support people from the bench to see what's going on, because you know you're working together, and you know your perspective on what your role should be could be completely different from what your coach sees. Not to say coach is always right, because I know there's times where I'm like, coach, I think you might want to reevaluate this a little bit so we can get some W's, but you know it is what it is. And so no matter what your position is, you got to contribute. Like I was listening to Lou Williams talk about how he's kind of fallen into this perpetual 6-man role. That's what he's been all his career, right? He had an opportunity to become a starter back when he was here in Philly. And I think it was when, I think either AI got hurt or it was when they was bringing AI back, like right before they was bringing AI back. And they asked Lou, they was like, listen, are you cool with going back to the bench? Because we can't bring AI off the bench, right? And he was like, you know, he's good relationship with AI. He's like, yeah, bring him back. Like, I'm cool with it. But he was saying how growing up, his coach always instilled in him, like, just do whatever, that team mentality, that team-minded mentality, you know, do whatever it takes for the team to win. And so now in his career, he's probably leaving millions of dollars on the table, but, you know, a lot of accolades that he could be earning. Bonuses, there's a lot he's giving up just because he's not a starter, right? There's things that go into that. But, you know, he's just, I'll say, happy being a 6-man and adding value, because whatever team he's on, he's done a lot for it. Like, he's impactful. He might not be a starter, but he'll play starter minutes. He'll put up starter numbers.
Well, it was the same when they used to say, like with me, it ain't who start, it's who finish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like like another thing that like you when you've been saying all this, what come to mind that you
What comes to
can't be
mind?
selfish. Like one of the things that you can't be to be a good one when it is a good team player is being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that you were saying, and I was just thinking about that. I told you like Claude. Like I remember I started for the team. Then the next year he brought me off the bench, and I couldn't understand it, and I didn't know. So you know what? In a way, I took that the wrong way, and it made me start doing things until one day. And then you know what? The funny thing, it was years after I understood what he did when he was saying it. He never told me what he was gonna do, and maybe like sometimes, like you saying. But see now, if I'm coaching, I'm gonna tell that player why, and explain to him why. If it's a kid on the street that I see something wrong and I'm trying to help, I'm going to try to tell him why. Because, like, you know what? Me just doing it and not explaining it to him and making somebody understand it, like, I'm not doing any good. And that's just, like I'm saying, learning these things through experience and how to give some things back. Like a lot that we talk about, and it's like a lot of times, like now, I'm grateful for my incarceration because I learned so much. I learned so much. I learned some things that I always thought I knew, but I didn't know, and I didn't know in the right way. So now I can help some people because I understand like a lot more. Now I've been around people that have been incarcerated, but it's not the same. It's not the same thing that got into my heart and led me to be like today. I could say it made make me a better person.
So how are you helping your team now in your day to day?
Whatever I can do and wherever I can see that I can help. Like that's what I'm saying about being versatile and doing it. Like like even at the job now that I work, and then what some people tell me, and old head, but I'm always trying to share some of my experience with them. I'm not trying to tell them what I think. I'm trying to tell them, like, if I don't know about it, then I'll tell them that. But if I can, because I have experienced so much in life, or been around so much stuff, so I can always help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And like here we go back when I'm saying about helping somebody, I'm helping myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I may talk to you or I may say some things to you, I'm really talking to me. So like, cause I still gotta remember so many things in life. I can't forget, or I'm doomed to go back to where I came from. And I definitely don't want to go back to no place where I just
You
came
and me
from.
both.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying, and I owe a lot of this to because I've seen a lot. I've been around. I talk to people and stuff like that. So, and I've been blessed, man. Like what I've been blessed to recognize some things, and like you know what, and I still always just like you kind of opened up when you were saying about how, and that's one of the biggest things that always come back with everything. Then with the other thing, like you saying, support and all that plays hand to hand.
I thought you was about to break out and sing your song.
What song is that?
Yeah, Charlie Wilson song.
Oh, I'm
Be
blessed. Well, I can't sing.
You're not gonna sing? Try, give it a shot.
No, I'm not gonna sing. Funny because the people on the job yesterday was talking about you gonna sing with us? No, I ain't singing with y'all. My grandma told me years ago I can't sing, and when she told me, I listened.
Oh man, you scarred?
Huh?
You broke your heart?
No, I'll sing in the car when I'm driving by
Yeah,
myself.
you was singing earlier,
like
man.
I was singing earlier.
Yeah, when you was listening to your song, you was like, bless. I was like, I thought you said that was your song. You don't know the words?
Oh, I know some of the words, but you ain't get me to sing it now, neither.
All right. I'm gonna catch you slipping on camera.
Okay.
But yeah, we gotta get ready to bounce. Want to wish y'all a great week ahead. Also, if you're not following us on social media, please do so. Again, it's at the NoStoppingKev Show on Instagram, and basically the same thing on Facebook. Facebook.
Yeah.
The space NoStoppingKev space show. And like our page, give us a follow. Feel free to comment, share content on there. Slide in our DMs. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you want us to, come kick it with some of your kids, just talk about life, definitely let us know, because it's something we love to do. It's definitely something we're passionate about. But we got to get ready to bounce. Thank y'all for tuning in again. As always, we love you and peace.
Peace.